Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. Today, for that, I am Tengku Mustaqeem with my partner Aidil Umar Ahza. And today we with us today we have our respondent, which is Encik Tengku Muhammad Yusoff. And today we would like to talk about healthy diet in this interview. So Encik Yusoff, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit to our viewers?
Thank you very much, and Walaikum Assalam to both of you. It's nice to be on air. I hope I look handsome with the age I am in now. I'm as you introduced me as Tengku Yusoff. I'm Tengku Yusoff. I'm a pensioner with the health department. I was with the health department for about for almost 30 to 40 years. And I'm now a pensioner enjoying the fruits of my labor, enjoying life, eating good food, and exercising. I'm now staying in Perlis, and I'm very much indeed very adapted, very much indeed feel so happy that both of you include me in your program.
We sincerely give our thanks to you because agree to become our respondent for this interview.
Yeah, me too, me too.
Okay, Mr. Yusof, before we jump directly into our question, would you like to share a little bit of your work experience during your working days?
As I have mentioned earlier, I was with the health department. HEALTH. It's not. It's the sometimes it may be pronounced as hell. HELL is the way round. But mine is the health department. Being in the health department, I have the privilege of mixing around with so many professionals. I have nutritionists, I have entomologists, I have food technologists, I have this environmentalist, and I'm an environmentalist. I do environment work, and most of my work concerns enforcement, which is part and parcel of the day that requires me and my office mate to participate in ongoing programs such as food raiding, giving health talk, and telling people the most famous one is not to smoke here, not to smoke there, and that is part of my work for the most 40 years. And I'm very proud that I've served not only in Perlis, but I've served to many other states in Malaysia doing this enforcement work with the health department.
Okay, thank you for your share. Now that we know a little bit information about who our respondent is and his working background. Now, without further ado, I would like to continue with our first question. Now, Mr. Yusof, our first question is, what kind of healthy diet meals or programs that you practice regularly?
Well, um, to be frank with you guys, only after retiring, I only practice healthy eating because during my working days, I don't have much luxury of doing those things because to me, you got to eat and you got to work at the same time. As I retire, I see that my obligation now is to keep myself fit, and I must discipline myself so as to to minimize or rather to make it known to myself what kind of food is suitable for me during my food intake. It is just being a little bit when choosing the right food, and I hope with a little bit of my knowledge now I'll be getting healthier. And in fact, now is the month of Ramadan. It's a good time for me to practice good eating habits. And mind you, I've already lost about 4 to 5 kilos. This morning I weighed myself just after being waken up by my wife. I put on the scale and I've lost almost 4.5 kilos
That's good to hear.
due to my proper eating habits. Because of Ramadan, partly because of Ramadan, and also the food intake that I avoid not to take so as to make myself healthy.
So do you think you enjoy the healthy diet program that you organize to yourself?
You want a frank answer or you want just hoo-hoo answer? But never mind. For the benefit of the doubts, I think Ahza, you're asking me whether I enjoy or not the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The diet program that you conduct to yourself.
Uh, Frankly, I don't seem to enjoy it at all. But the things that make me happy is that I'm losing weight. Formerly, my weight was about 80 plus, and now it's being reduced to almost 76, 77. So I said, oh my God, huh? I'm getting a little bit lower. So I think my healthy diet plan is working on me. I think the healthy diet plan is working on me. And although I have regular food intake, I have regular food intake. Although I have healthy diets, and I need not worry of the weight loss because my main intention is to reduce weight through healthy eating.
Okay, now that we know what kind of healthy diet meals and program that you practice regularly, and how do you enjoy it on the daily basis, from your own point of view, what is the most basic healthy eating pattern that you can recommend to all of us?
Um, you both of you gentlemen are young guys. It's a new millennium. Normally Malaysian habits when they wake up in the morning they'll go for nasi lemak, teh tarik, roti canai. That's the normal pattern of Malaysian eating habits. But as I retire, I begin to feel wiser in the kind of food that I need to take. Firstly, I need to identify the food I eat less. I need to identify the food that I eat less. And secondly, I need to practice eating right and enjoying a wholesome meal every day. A wholesome meal every day. What do I mean by my first statement is identifying food and getting less, eating less unwanted food. I will at this point of time I will try to eat less food that is high in oil and fats. I will try to eat food that is high in salt, in sugar. I will also try to eat less of food that is too much carbo. So, guys, my food must be balanced. My food must be balanced. So, as the right sugar intake, the right salt intake, will then balance up my diet for the day. Too much carbo and lack of veggie and high in oil, uh, especially food in deep fried. You guys like deep fried chicken, and those food are not too good to me. I know you enjoy your breaking of fast with that special so-called ayam dot dot dot, huh? And I'm trying to avoid that. Although my temptation is there, but my eating pattern I have to vary. As I said, because Malaysian men, they are they have to observe a few things when eating. That is the Malaysian food pyramid, and also the Malaysian eating pattern. That is quarter and half. You guys know about the Malaysian food pyramid? Would you like to share it with me?
Yes, we do have a little bit of knowledge about the Malaysian our quarter half meals. It's a meal where everything is where something like the fish, the poultry, meat, and legumes are being taken in a portion of quarter.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's right, that's right.
so
That you go for fish for a quarter.
quarter.
And what about the other quarter, Azhar? What do you
For
go for?
for cups and like rice, bread, something like that.
Wow, you guys are well versed about this quarter and half, huh? And the other half, what do you go for?
And the other half we usually
Let's see
go.
whether you guys are well versed about food nutrition. The other half.
Luckily we are well versed about it. The other half, which is the half of the meal, we usually go with vegetable and fruits.
Vegetables and fruit. That is what I am observing now. If you happen to break fast with me, I'll go for this kind of food. I'll
Oh,
have dates. Or having dates is a sunnah food. And then I'll go with drink without salt. Sorry, without sugar and lots of veggie, and a little bit of carbo. And I'll go for fish. That is quarter half. That's my food intake. What about this Malaysian food pyramid? What are the kind of food? It seems now I'm asking the question to you guys. So what are the food that we should eat less? Let's see whether you guys understand or not.
we
uh,
should, I think we should eat less oily foods. Yeah, the one that like fried rice or anything with you have anything you have to cook with oil. That's I think that's the thing that you have to uh, take it decreasingly lah.
Yes, I totally agree with you because during in the food pyramid, the thing that we should eat less in our eating pattern is at the apex. It's at the top. As you mentioned, Azhar, the food that we eat less should be like foods such as fats and oil and sugar. But I don't think you guys can avoid those things because those things are the food temptation for you guys at your age.
Okay. So Mr. Yusoff, as you mentioned earlier that at your age you have to eat you have to well known what your food intake is to in order to maintain your diet. So what is the benefit you can receive when you implement healthy diet in your daily life?
Oh, thank God. By practicing healthy diets, um, It helps me to be a little bit healthy. All of this is God's will. I pray to God that I can eat well, as my stomach can receive whatever I take is beneficial um, for my body, and the food that my food intake will with the hope that it will help me. Although it's the month of Ramadan, I just cannot lay down in bed. So I need to have a very healthy diet to help me out for the day. To have a healthy diet, I need healthy food. So the benefit is when I eat a balanced and healthy diet with the blessing of Allah, for the past 8 days, or rather the whole duration of our fasting month, I don't seems to be having much problem. For example, yesterday I had my COVID vaccination. It's a little bit painful at my arms. I feel a little bit restless. That might be the side effect of the vaccination. But somehow I can still manage to keep on fasting. I think it's due to my food consumption during sahur. I had my vaccination about, not to say too early, but in the early part of the morning. And then I feel a little bit restless towards midday. But I think with God wills, with the food intake, with the right portion of bread that I have, a little bit of eggs, a little bit of veggie, and 2 pieces of kurma, and 2 cups of plain water, it makes my day. And as I've said, you cannot go against God's will. Even though you have a good or healthy diet, if God says, Mr. Yusoff, it's time for you to get sick, then you have to get sick. But anyhow, God will always say He will help those who will help themselves. And I believe in that. And I'm helping myself now to eat good food so as I will get all the benefit that I require for the day.
Mm. Okay, thank you for your share of knowledge. For our next question is from health practitioner that we get from a health website. This health practitioner name is Ixosen 2018. And she mentioned in their website that eating foods cooked from scratch is one of the best way to improve your healthy diet routine. Could you, Mr. Yusof, explain more why food that you make yourself tend to be better for your health?
I prefer home cooked food, whether it's ayam goreng, which I love so much, or mamak style mee goreng. All those are oily, mind you. I prefer, if I need to eat this what's that, most
What is
fries, fries,
fries,
fries,
fries,
fries,
fries?
fries, fries. Those are the things that I ate a lot before I practice healthy eating. And now, normally, is my wife. My wife seems to be a good cook. So when you cook at home, please bear in mind all the healthy precaution you are taking. All the healthy precaution you are taking to avoid unnecessary food poisoning. So to me, when you cook at home, the chances of you being or getting infected by Food infection such as typhoid, food poisoning, cholera, just to name a few of the food poisoning cases, or food that is being caused by ingestion of disease that is being caused by ingestion of unhealthy food, you tend to avoid. So it's better for you to eat home cooked food. As you know, the level of safety that your wife or your spouse practice while preparing food. You can see for yourself while they are preparing the food. You can see for yourself how they thaw the food. You can see for yourself how they cook and how they fry the fish, how they do the cutting of the veggie, how where do they place all these vegetables inside the sink, or do they place it on the floor? And be mindful, if you place all those things on the floor, you are going against the practice of a very very bad food habit. So last but not least, I think eating at home will always hamper me, inshallah, from getting any health related food diseases.
For our next question, uh, is it typical concept to decrease your food intake during your healthy dieting? But just how much does it need to be decreased?
Actually, there is a misconception. There's actually a misconception. People will say you need to reduce your food intake to make you healthy. That's a misconception now. People will say you cannot eat rice. That's carbo. But as we discussed earlier, quarter half, it includes of rice too, or carbohydrate of whatever kind it is, but to the right portion. So when you take in your meal, there are times when you need to observe snacks. Snacks will come in between meals because once you have your breakfast and while you're eating, waiting for your lunch, and by the end of the day you are waiting for your dinner, you need to have snacks. But what kind of snack do you take? One or two snack in between meals should be okay, and with lots of water, plain water. And things to avoid, this you should avoid to decrease. This one I totally agree with you guys, because food that is high in santan, I don't know what it's called in English, but santan is coconut milk lah, coconut milk,
Coconut.
coconut milk. Santan free dishes. Oh my God, I love this masala lemak. I love curry. I love all those dishes. It comes with good santan. However, I tell my wife, please minimize your santan addition, or what do we say that? Ingredients.
Ingredients.
But it tastes a little bit flat lah. However, by reducing the amount, I think you can help yourself. Just now I said it's snack. Now is to be a little bit choosy on your santan free dishes, and you should consume home cooked food as Ahza asked me earlier, and not forgetting,
Uh,
drink lots and lots of water.
uh, Earlier you told us that you mentioned that in between meals we have to take some sort of snacks. What kind of snacks can we actually take? Is it uh, all right for us if we just take snacks like junk food or potato chips or something like that?
Junk food is to be honest. Junk food is the one too I consume. But snacks, I'll go for those recommended type. Those I have to buy at the store. Normally, my snack will go for chocolates and some things that chocolate with oats and chocolates with nuts and chocolates with raisins.
So
Junk
it's
foods can always consist of pickles.
Pickles.
Oh, pickles is nice, no? Nice for your mouth. It's very watery.
so it's not like our typical snacks during well, maybe watching movies ke apa. It's not something like that lah. It's more something healthier.
And I'm not saying eating keropok is not wise. Eating keropok is not wise. I'm not saying that. But you must see the ingredient that they use to make keropok. Our Terengganu keropok is one of the best. Even Kelantan keropok is also the best. Pangkor keropok is also the best. But what consists inside of the keropok? Is it plain flour? Is it fish with flour? Do they add any food conditioner inside the keropok? Do they add any salt intake to the keropok? Those are the things that we need to see. We will discuss later about the labelings of the foods.
Okay, I do say it's a very fair price too because you just need to dull the taste of your dishes a little bit just to have a more healthy body because of your healthy food. I do say it's a very fair price to pay. Okay, now we will move on to our seventh question. First of all, healthy diet meal or program needs to be constantly carried out every day to ensure a positive result at the end of the day. Thus, motivation and dedication is the key to become success. According to Rebecca Harrington, 2016, she mentioned that it can be tough to eat right all the time. We want to reach for the fries or the burger or the donuts or all of the above. As someone who once worked in health department, could you suggest a way to keep a person stay motivated all the time to continue his or her healthy diet routine throughout the day?
It's such a lengthy statement by Rebecca. But the key word there is motivate.
Motivate,
Motivate.
yes.
Keyword there is motivate. Simple only, most. You are what you eat. You are what you eat. If you want to get fatter, you eat unhealthy food. If you want to you reduce your weight like me now, you go to the food diet plan. So in doing so, you must be highly motivated and disciplined. You must be disciplined in yourself not to smoke in class. Ha ha ha. You must be disciplined yourself. Huh? Not to say bad thing to others about others. That is what Islam preach also. So the key word is motivate. And once you get motivated, now I'm trying to motivate myself. Each day I look at the scale. If I lose 1 kilogram or half a kilogram per day, oh my God, it really motivates me because the food intake that I take, as Rebecca says, helps me a lot.
Uh, Azza, you are mute.
Okay. For our next question, uh, as you know, nowadays there's a lot of some kind of drug, medicines, or supplement that claims to increase the healthiness of our body. So, in your opinion, or the fact that you have, are those things can really affect our diets? If so, can you explain how the supplements or pills react inside our body?
Actually, supplement, we take dietary supplement in so many forms. Supplements is needed for our body if we don't take in sufficient quantity of food. Supplement will comes in pills, capsule, powdered drinks, and in those formation. And supplement will comes as multivitamins. Supplement will come as vitamins. Supplement will also come in fish and oil supplement. All those things are intended so as to supply the correct nutrition to what is missing from your diet. If you skip diet, you should have a very good supplement. At the moment, I'm on a supplement too. It's not fair of me to name the generic name of the supplement that I'm taking, but it's being suggested by my physician. So as this supplement will help me out in reducing my so-called cholesterol, in reducing my sickness, and this supplement will also help me to gain a better portion of what I didn't eat. So supplement to me are foods that should be taken, supplement, but that is missing during our diet.
Okay. For the next question, which is okay.
Mus, you are mute.
Oh, I'm very sorry for that. Okay, for our next question, which is question number 9. It is a question which is a continuation of question number 8. The question is, what will happen to our body if we only take those supplement instead have a decent meals?
Nowadays, people tend to go for supplement. If you go to drugstore, there are so many varieties of supplement. You just name it, and the salesman and sales executive there, they are trying to promote whatever uh, kinds of supplement that you ask for. Is is the thing that they sell, and they need buyers like us. But you must have the proper knowledge before you go for the right supplement. Nowadays, as you said, there are a lot of drug being on the store, the supplement. So food supplement are also sufficient for our dietary and nutritional purposes. To me, huh? um, you need a supplement to balance up your dietary and nutritional purposes. This supplement is needed, as I've said earlier, for the body, as we cannot consume as we cannot consume sufficient quantities that is missing from our diet. So the food supplement that we are going to ask from the drugstore, it should be those that is missing from our diet. But if you have a balanced and a well-balanced diet, I don't think you need supplement.
Alright. So in Malaysia nowadays, I think people tend to not care about their diet at all, especially teenagers. So, what do you think everyone should implement healthy diet in their life?
Being
What?
being a, being a youngster yourself, sometimes when you eat luxury food, it's a way of life. Sometimes when you go to posh hotels, when you go to posh restaurants, I'm not saying that you cannot go, but your lifestyle, it will reflect on who you are. I've been to remote places. They don't have all these outlets, but I did saw them. They are healthy compared to guys in town. When being a teenager,
I'm sorry, Mr. Yusoff.
uh,
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, Mr. Yusoff. This is what the question Azza asked just now is kind of a wrong question. I'm very sorry about that.
yeah, it's okay. No, no, I'm trying to finish up. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
it's okay. I don't think it's wrong, Mus. I don't think it's wrong. I think it's much related to what we are discussing.
Okay,
Huh?
okay.
And what Azza is trying to say is about also about the eating pattern and eating the healthy lifestyle of the teenagers. Huh? I think that's what you meant, Azza. Huh? If you are from well, say if your pockets are full, you can choose good eateries and choose food to your liking. But please be mindful, whatever you eat at those eateries, it should be well balanced and healthy diet. And do you agree with me, Ada? Ada, are you there?
Yes, yes, yes. I'm sorry. Okay, so
I
uh,
seems to lost your voice. Maybe I my
I,
my.
I muted my mic just now.
Oh
So
yeah.
moving on to the next question. To be able to function properly, our body needs all the nutrients that come from foods. That is protein, carbohydrates, and fats, plus vitamins and minerals. Plus, we need to eat roughly the same amount of calories that your body uses. Healthy body weight, calories in, calories out. From your own personal view, what is your opinion regarding this fact?
Okay. At any food that you buy, I mean, packed food that you buy. If my camera is good enough, if my camera is good enough, I would like to share. I would like to share these facts. I think you guys can see what is written there. What is written there? Uh, I hope my camera is in a very good pixel. But if you cannot read, it's okay. But now it's a requirement of the law, or rather, a requirement of the food industry. Sorry, it's a requirement of the food industry, whereby they need to furnish all details. Even kurma now. Now it's the fasting month. Now it's the fasting month. And you see that nutritional facts there. Nutritional facts. Huh? It's all
Quite,
written there.
quite blurred.
Quite blur, but never mind. The idea is if you get to choose any kind of packed food. Go for the labels. Go for the labels. And the label will tell you much about the calories and nutrition in food. The label is known as the Nutrition Information Panel, NIP. That is the NIP. For all foods, the NIP is different. If you go for a piece of bun, it is your intake of a piece of bun. It can get you to what calorie of food that you take. So um, I do agree with what is being said. For our body needs to have a very good nutrient. The calories intake should be calories in and calories out. And please be mindful that I am not well versed in saying this type of food is 2 calories, 5 calories, 20 calories. I'm not well versed in that. But what I know is when I take in food, I will just look at the label, food that is being packed, food that is being packed, or not cooked food, or not ready to eat food. These are food that is being packed by the food industries. Food packed by food industries needs food nutrition. And food nutrition, nutrition information, excuse me. Um, that is being called Nutrition Information Panel. When you go for Nutrition Information Panel, one more thing, I hardly see. I would like to share one more thing. I hope you guys can see uh, this one, the red logo.
Yes,
This
yes, we
red
can see,
logo.
we can see.
You can see the red color, but I don't think it's very sharp. Huh? The red logo, it will say Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia, healthier choice, pilihan yang lebih sihat. So they will stick on this red or black logo, and this logo is at the back of the food that is required in labeling. So if we see cottage industry food, cottage industry, it's a little bit different from food that is being prepared by big organization or big companies. They don't have this NIP because they don't have nutritional expert with them. When you see cottage industry soft drink, they don't have NIP. In Bahasa Melayu, they will say ayak menek, for example. You don't see any label on that bottle ayak menek. If you see some cottage industry or small or backyard industry, even it's healthy, they don't come with NIP. Are we within time, Mus? Or are
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah,
are we,
yeah,
are
yeah.
we,
We are still
are
within time. Yes.
we should stop or what?
Oh, no, 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 no. We still have a portion of four more questions to go.
Four more questions. You're
Four more.
killing me, man. You're killing me.
I'm very sorry, Mr. Yusoff, but this is the requirements of our interviews.
Oh.
Okay, now we will move on to our next question. Do healthy diet, meals, and program vary from people to people? If so, please explain why.
When you are small, your food intake is varies. You will go for non-solid food. As you go older and bigger, your food will be different. So it really varies from people because because the food intake of everybody cannot be the same. Are you listen? Can you get through me because it's raining at my place?
Yeah, yes.
Are you there, Ahza?
Yes,
Because
I'm here.
it's raining at my place, and I think the transmission, if the internet transmission is.
I can hear you clearly. Just the
What about
uh
my picture? Am I still there in your videos?
yes, you are.
Is my voice disturbing because the rain? Because my house is a little bit.
Uh,
Uh,
no,
yeah,
I can hear you very clearly.
you can hear me very clearly. All of a sudden, it rains. Oh, thank God! All of a sudden, it rains. Uh,
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah,
uh,
your voice, no, your voice and picture still clearly can be seen by us.
oh, you are there too, huh, Mus? Huh?
Yeah, I'm still here too.
Okay. If you say my voice is okay, I proceed with what I missed out just now. Um, for example, like children, if they don't get enough healthy food, their growth and development pattern will hinders them. That is why they say have a good breakfast in the morning before you go to school. So as poor academic performance, you can avoid that. If you have very good meals, and it varies from people to people. It is different because the keyword there is vary, because it varies from age, it varies in gender, and the type of work that you are doing. If both of you are still in college, you need good food so as to balance your diet for the day. You need good food for your brain to work. You need good food for your eyes to see the writing on the boards. You need good food so as your brain can helps you to communicate very well with anyone that you come to. So, summing up, a balanced and a healthy diet varies from people, and it is a requirement for a very different type of age and gender.
Okay. So for our next question from staff 2020, staff 2020 mentioned that breakfast is often called the most important meal of the day. And can you explain why is it so important than other meals? And what is the worst scenario can happen if we skip breakfast regularly?
Um, if you are interested in nutrition, there is one nutritional gurus, huh? But this guru is back in the 60s. I did some homework before this interview, and one of these guru is Adele Davis. I hope I pronounce his name properly. Adele Davis. What Adele says is, your intake of breakfast will help you to break the overnight fatty the overnight fasting period. Believe it or not, for example, if you sleep at midnight, the next food intake will be around, let's say, in the morning. So in the morning, just before you go to college, around 7 to 8, around 7 to 8, and you tend to get good food. So that is a time from midnight to morning. That is a time when your fasting period need to be replenished. You need to supply your body with glucose again. so as you get to get good energy, and a late night meal, or rather, it doesn't help too, because to me, as the guru says, a morning breakfast will make your day.
And what is the worst scenario can happen if we skip breakfast regularly?
Mm, the worst part is, have you heard about the word gastric? I'm not a medical expert. If there is a vacuum in your stomach, if there is a vacuum and you tend to eat unhealthy food, or you don't skip, or rather, if you skip your breakfast, and this will tend disturb the scenario inside your stomach, and gastritis will start to develop in your body. Once, if you get gastritis, it is curable. It is curable indeed. In this modern world of medicine, it is curable. But why should we put ourselves in a burden if we can have something in our tummy just before we start the day? For example, get some good cereal, get some good hot drinks, chocolate drinks, uh, two pieces of toast maybe, and eggs. That will help make your day. But being a college student, I don't think you have the luxury of time to prepare all those things. Eh?
We just
Uh,
go through the day.
yeah, you don't have the luxury of time. But please remember, without food, it will gradually disturb your stomach and your food intestine.
Okay, Mr. Yusoff, thank you. Your share about the importance of the breakfast. So, for our next question, which is question 13, what are your thoughts regarding to the concept of brunch, where it's meant to be an eating order where people combine their breakfast and lunch in one meal in their healthy diet program? Is it wise to do that?
Brunch is an acronym for breakfast and lunch.
Yes.
It's if I'm not mistaken, those days I have this small dictionary. It's a Collin Oxford English Dictionary. Huh? I used to wonder. People say, "Hey, you take brunch, huh? You take brunch, huh?" That's how I get to know the word of brunch. It's from a dictionary. It's a late morning meal. Mus is a late morning meals,
Oh,
and not forgetting to take your lunch together. It's a late morning meal, but you join it up with your lunch. Meaning to say, you skip your early breakfast and you just proceed to your late morning meal with lunch. Sometimes lunch is not lunch also. It's just a simple nasi, or even you go for nasi lemak or whatever, huh? And just something to fill up your tummy. But if you find a good restaurant, a food eatery, then you can go for brunch as well. That is a late morning meal plus your lunch. And your brunch, sometimes it helps us in the healthy diets program, because at the moment I'm also observing intermittent fasting. This is another new one for me. I'm observing IF. They said IF. And while observing intermittent fasting, I normally I will only take light breakfast with lots of water, and then I'll go for my lunch. That is my typical makan sayur only. makan sayur, and quarter half. Kan? Jadi my IF helps out in my branch.
Okay. So for our last question, question number 14. As you mentioned for some time ago, nowadays there seem to be a misconception about the concept of healthy diet. So there are people who think healthy diet is simply eating an apple to last the whole day just because they want to decrease their food intake drastically. How would like how would you like to describe what it means to have a proper healthy diet?
There is a saying. There is a saying. An apples a day will keeps the doctors away. But that saying, it doesn't say only you have to eat apples for that day.
True.
It's meaning to say, taking apples along with your healthy diets will keeps your doctors away. So your intake of the misconception of healthy diet, people tend to misconcept of what should not be eaten, or they want to be healthy, they want to get thinner. So you tend to miss out a few things in your diet program. And if you miss all those things, you how are you going to boost up your energy level and giving out essential nutrient to your body for the whole day, because you don't have sufficient food, because you that misconception of not taking the right food, you said you're healthy. Misconception of only taking supplement, you are healthy. But being a layman, I tend not to follow this conception. I will always tell myself I need food to boost up my energy. I need food for the food nutrient. I need me to enjoy the rest of my day. And the food that I take, lastly, guys, lastly, I would like to share this. And the food practice of healthy eating really helps me out. And that practices, I have of adopting these practices, because if you are serious in doing one of those, not to eat this, not to eat that, eat within the time, follow the Malaysian food pyramid, follow the quarter half of what is being practiced by the our nutritional expert, that our professional body will, bodies in Malaysia, just to name a few: the Nutrition Society of Malaysia, the Malaysian Dietitian Association, the Malaysian Association of Study of Obesity. I think they will always say that a healthy diet comes from a very healthy food that you take in. So with that, gentlemen, I thank you for your time. I think I talk too much, and I hope that what I say is to my point. Is to my point. And if there is something that is not being agreeable, it's to my mistake. And Allah is the most merciful, and He knows everything that is right. Thank you
Oh,
very much, guys, and hope to see you guys in the near future. Bye bye.
okay, Alhamdulillah. Throughout the interview, me and Ahza have received a very vast amount of knowledge about healthy diet, and we hope that the knowledge that Mr. Yusoff, that share with us today in this interview will be beneficial for everybody as well. Yes, and
Lastly,
Ahza.
I have uh, I have to thank Mr. Yusoff for your time and giving us your space to conduct this meeting, and it might be taking a long time for you. So with all of that efforts, me and Mus, thank you, thank you for your effort lah, for your time.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Yusoff. Have a good day.
Good day to you too. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.